The Grand Oak's unexpected lesson. On a crisp Friday evening, the Grand Oak buzzed with life. The dimly lit chandeliers reflected off polished wine glasses as LA's elite indulged in their carefully plated gourmet meals. Among them sat an elderly man in a simple gray polo and slacks, quietly sipping whiskey at his usual corner table. His posture was relaxed, his expression unreadable. The restaurant had recently undergone a transformation, both in decor and ownership. Unknown to many, the man in the gray polo wasn't just a regular customer, he was the owner. Clint Eastwood had purchased the Grand Oak 6 months ago, not for its prestige, but for its legacy. Having frequented the establishment for decades, he believed in its original vision, a place where hospitality meant treating everyone with dignity, regardless of wealth or status. He had given the staff clear instructions, no special treatment for him. He wanted to see the restaurant through the eyes of an ordinary guest. Rachel, the newest waitress, was fresh out of a prestigious hospitality school and eager to make a name for herself. She had an impeccable work ethic but a sharp eye for status. For her, appearance dictated importance, and that evening, the man in the casual polo didn't fit her standards. She had spent her shift attending to social media influencers and tech moguls, ensuring they had the perfect dining experience. But this older gentleman, slowly nursing his whiskey, seemed out of place. Her heels clicked across the marble floor as she approached his table. With a polite but forced smile, she placed a hand on the chair beside him. "Sir, I couldn't help but notice you've been here for quite some time," she said, her tone dripping with subtle condescension. "Would you prefer a seat at the bar? We're expecting some high-profile reservations for this section." The man looked up, his piercing blue eyes steady and calm. He swirled his whiskey thoughtfully before replying, "I'm comfortable here." Rachel hesitated, thrown off by his unwavering confidence. She glanced at the polished menu in her hands. "Our chef prepares a very exclusive menu, and, well, the pricing reflects the level of our establishment." A few nearby diners turned their heads, sensing tension. A young busboy named Miguel, who had immigrated from Mexico 2 years ago, froze mid-step. He had recognized the man immediately. He had grown up watching Clint Eastwood films with his father. His grip tightened around the bus tub as he watched the scene unfold. Clint took another measured sip of his drink. "I'm aware of the prices," he said evenly. Rachel, missing the growing discomfort around her, pressed on. "Perhaps you'd like me to explain the menu?" Slowly. The last word carried an unmistakable jab at his age. Miguel, unable to stay silent any longer, stepped forward. "Miss Rachel," he said hesitantly, "maybe I should get Mr. Thomas?" Rachel turned to him with narrowed eyes. "Stay out of this," she snapped. "Go bus tables." Before she could turn back, the man placed his glass down with deliberate care. The small movement commanded silence in a way that words never could. Several veteran diners recognized the moment, the stillness before an iconic scene. "In my day," he mused, voice calm yet firm, "respect wasn't something you gave based on someone's suit or their wallet. It was about how you treated people." Rachel, still oblivious, scoffed. "Your day was a long time ago, sir. Times have changed. This is a place for modern luxury." Clint's expression didn't change, but a flicker of amusement crossed his features. "Modern luxury," he repeated, as if testing the phrase. "And what exactly does that mean to you?" Rachel straightened her posture, regaining her confidence. "It means our clientele expects a certain ambience. They understand what the Grand Oak represents." Behind her, Thomas, the manager, had finally noticed the commotion and was making his way over. Too late. Clint pulled out his phone and dialed a number. "Jerry, can you bring me the ownership papers?" "Yes, now." Rachel's confident smirk faltered. "Ownership papers," she echoed. Miguel stepped back, watching the realization dawn upon her. A hush fell over the restaurant. Clint leaned back in his chair. I've been coming here every Friday for 6 months. Do you know why? Rachel shook her head, her breath shallow. Because when I first came here 50 years ago, the owner treated me like I mattered. Not because of who I was, but because that's how he treated everyone. When his son wanted to sell, I bought this place, not for gold leaf desserts, but to keep that spirit alive. Jerry, the restaurant's longtime accountant, arrived moments later, leather portfolio in hand. He handed Clint the documents with a nod of respect. Rachel stood frozen, her order pad slipping from her fingers. The weight of her mistake pressed down on her. Clint's voice softened, but his authority remained. I could fire you right now. Tears welled in Rachel's eyes. But that's not what this place is about, he continued. He gestured toward Miguel. This young man recognized something you didn't. Respect isn't about appearances. Turning to Miguel, Clint asked, how would you like to start training as a waiter? We could use more people who understand real service. Miguel's eyes widened. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Clint nodded before looking back at Rachel. As for you, you have a choice. You can leave and find a place more suited to your idea of luxury, or you can stay, learn, and truly understand what hospitality means. The entire restaurant held its breath as Rachel wiped her eyes and swallowed her pride. I'd like to stay and learn, sir, if you'll let me. Clint finished his whiskey and set the glass down with a small, satisfied nod. Good choice. A ripple of applause broke the silence, not for Clint Eastwood the celebrity, but for the lesson the Grand Oak had just witnessed. A reminder that true class isn't about money or fame, it's about how we treat each other. And if you happen to visit the Grand Oak on a Friday night, you just might see an elderly man in a gray polo at his usual table, ensuring that respect and dignity never go out of style.